Today, I'm President Emily Stevens and call this regular board meeting of March 26, 2026 to order. The time is 5 o'clock. We'll start with 1.01 flag salute. Trustee Biasotti, please lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Sorry. Before I open item 1.02, is there anyone who did not get a chance to complete a speaker card, public speaker card? It's yellow. If you have not, they're up in the front. All right, let's go ahead and do 1.02, adoption of the agenda. Trustee Cavazos?
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to make a motion to adopt the agenda with the following changes. Reference materials have been provided for item 4.03, public hearing on and possible approval of the new 2025-2027 negotiated agreement between the Clark County School District and the Police Administrators Association of the Clark County School District. Reference materials have been provided for item 4.04, public hearing on and possible approval of revisions to the 2025-2027 negotiated agreement between the Clark County School District and the Police Officers Association of the Clark County School District. Reference materials have been provided for item 4.05, public hearing on and possible approval of revisions to the 2025-2027 negotiated agreement between the Clark County School District and the Clark County Association of School Administrators and Professional Technical Employees. Revised reference material has been added for item 4.03, public hearing on and possible approval of the new 2025-2027 negotiated agreement between the Clark County School District and the Police Administrators Association of the Clark County School District.
Thank you, Trustee Cavazos. Can I get a second?
I will second that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Bustamante Adams. Let's go ahead and vote. Awesome. Motion passes. Okay, let's open 2.01, student reports. This is not an action item.
Madam President, members of the board, Kirsten Sear for the record. We are proud to be here tonight with two students who exemplify all that we are proud of in the Clark County School District to do our student reports. Our first student is from Boulder City High School, representing Trustee Stevens in District A and Trustee Satori in Clark County. And we have a student from Chaparral High School, representing Trustee Cavazos from District G and Trustee Satori from Clark County. So please welcome us and join us in welcoming our student speakers. We will start with David Swallen from Boulder City High School.
Hello, my name is David Zwallen. I'm a senior at Boulder City High School. Going to Boulder City High School has been a great experience for me. In my opinion, it is the best school in the state. To start off, I want to talk about how tightly knit our school is. With only less than 600 students attending BCHS, it is extremely easy to know a large number of your classmates and for our admin to know us too. I have heard from many of my friends coming from other schools that they are meeting new people from their school that they had no idea was going there for 4 years. I know the majority of my classmates, and I think that it has benefited me greatly. I have never worried about not knowing people in my classes or being lonely at school. Knowing that you have friends to interact with at school is very encouraging for students. It makes us want to come to school every day. There are even more perks that come along with it, safety being at the top of the list. In the past 3 years, there has been 0 fights at school, very limited lockdown threats, and a great student-to-admin ratio. That ratio is a key factor in our school's success. One thing that has been going well at our school is our SOAR program. One day a month, we meet with our SOAR classes. They are randomized classes with random teachers to lead them. This class is supposed to be a fun, safe space for students to feel like they belong amongst their peers. We play games, compete in challenges, compete for prizes, bring food for potlucks, and so much more. It is up to the class and teacher to decide what they want to do that day. I have found it a great way to meet new people from other grade levels and do fun things with them. My SOAR class and I get along really well, and I know that if I ever have a problem, I can go talk to my SOAR teacher. We added this class to provide kids with an adult that they know that they can trust to help them meet and collaborate with other students outside their own friend group. Another event that we have going on this week is You Matter Week. The goal for this week is to make our student body feel important and wanted. The student council stands outside and welcomes every student into the school with music and bubbles. We have special events like this every so often. On the other hand, we have some activities that are weekly regulars. Every Wednesday, we have Positive Sign Wednesday, where we gather students to hold signs with positive messages on them and take photos with them. Every Friday, we high five our principal, Miss Wagner, on our way out of school. I look forward to that high five to end my week. My favorite event of the year are our assemblies. At these assemblies, we separate into classes and separate them into their own sections to compete against each other for points. We play mini games, run relay races, and have dance performances, and hold our famous rah-rah, a competition to see which class can get the loudest. At the end of the assembly, whichever class has the most points gets the possession of the spirit stick and the bragging rights that come with it until the next assembly. My class has won 3 out of the 4 this year. These assemblies help students overcome their differences and work together to reach a common goal. Along with all these fun things that we do around campus, we also take academics seriously. In my graduating class, we have 99% of currently enrolled students graduating. Most schools can't say that many of their students succeed. This hasn't been the only year of success for Boulder either. Last year, almost 40% of the graduating class earned at least a 3.5 GPA and received honors or high honors diplomas. Additionally, 53% of our students were Millennium Scholars. All of this has made it easy for our students to secure scholarships and funds to help their futures. In the past 2 years, BCHS students have earned over $7 million in scholarships. That's a lot for graduating classes of just over 100 students. This year is projected to be even better. Finally, we have major success in our sports. In Boulder City's history, we have won 139 state championships. We win at least 3 state championships a year. So far, this year, we have already won 3. These include girls golf, girls tennis, and boys tennis. We are also projected to win at least 2 more this year with swimming and boys volleyball. I play boys volleyball, so. With this much success in our athletic department, students love being a part of our school. They are proud to represent BCHS. As you can see, Boulder City High School checks off all of the boxes. We are competitive in academics, athletics, and school atmosphere. Whenever someone asks me if I enjoy high school, I say without a doubt, yes. This is all because of the environment and memories that Boulder City High School has provided me with. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, David. And David's principal, who he mentioned, Mrs. Wagner, is here. You'll have to give us a high five on the way out today. Along with his mom, Kara. His dad wanted to be here too, but I guess there were other kid duties they had to divide and conquer. So thank you both for being here tonight to support David. And as you can see from our slide, originally we were going to have Abigail Donham from Chaparral High School with us tonight, but she's actually participating in a college trip out of town. So we have with us another wonderful representative of Chaparral High School with Daniel. Daniel, please take it away.
Good evening, esteemed members of the school board and Superintendent Ebert. My name is Daniel Mentado, and I am a 10th grade student representing Chaparral High School. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss the authenticity of our amazing school. On our campus, we offer ample opportunities and resources to ensure that students feel comfortable and welcome. This year, we have had multiple student organizations making a noticeable impact on our campus. One of these organizations is our student program called the Cowboy Crew, where participating students focus on partnering with incoming underclassmen to help their transition into high school be smooth. This student mentorship program is a good opportunity for our students to feel more comfortable and welcome on our campus. Another organization on our campus that has had a notable impact on our community is our student council. Outside of school events such as spirit weeks, assemblies, pep rallies, and lunchtime activities, our student council has made it their goal to give back to our community. To do so, this year we have brought back old traditions, including our rivalry football game, spirit week, and a fundraiser. This year, they worked so hard to host a competitive fundraising competition against El Dorado High School, where we both collected donations for Kindness Conquers, a children's cancer foundation. Our student council raised $3,137 for an amazing cause. Another exciting thing about our campus is our diversity and community. Recently, our school's Black Student Union held its first ever Unity Festival to highlight inclusivity, unity, and diversity. At their Unity Festival, they highlighted other cultural groups on our campus, including our Filipino Club and Latinos in Action Club. Chaparral High School is also known for our amazing CTE programs, which provide students with real-world training. On our campus, we offer students the opportunity to pursue education in automotive technology, culinary arts, business marketing, forensic science, military science, theater technology, teaching and training, and video production. These courses not only give our students hands-on experience, but also award free college credits. None of this would be possible without our amazing principal, teachers, admin, and even our very own Chaparral alumni. At Chaparral High School, we have the motto of once a cowboy, always a cowboy. As one of the oldest schools in Las Vegas, our alumni date back to our very own 1978 graduating class. Our alumni formed a group called The Chaps, ran by Shel Galvin. This group of determined cowboys makes it their goal to give back to the new generation of cowboys. Our Chaps provide meals for all sporting events for our athletes, meals for our Special Olympics, and even come to all sporting events to show support to our performers, athletes, and our school in general. Between peer mentorship programs and our involved clubs on campus, our school's authenticity and culture have been shining brighter than ever. Our campus is continually striving to get better and better. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to highlight the beauty and uniqueness of my very own Chaparral High School. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Daniel. And I want to point out that Daniel's principal, Mrs. Cummings, is here tonight to cheer him on, along with his mother, Delia Galvez, and his sister, Yamalet Mentado. I apologize, Mentado. So we'll turn it over to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustees, anything? Okay, Trustee Cavazos.
I was waiting politely for somebody to go before me, but David, it's such a pleasure to meet you and to meet your mom, and I already knew your principal. I'm wondering about that high five, does she have like a little step stool to reach you guys, or do you guys jump up? Or that's a joke because I've known her for a long time, so it's okay to say that. And Daniel, it's a pleasure to see you again. For those who were not lucky enough to see my recent trustee meeting where students were the focus of a mental health forum, Daniel was one of 3 students from Chaparral that participated, and it was focused on students' mental health. This is definitely the best part of the board meetings. I want to thank Superintendent Ebert again for bringing this back to our meetings. It is just such a pleasure. So I have a question. I want to ask David about your SOAR program. What is absolutely the best thing about that program?
Yeah, SOAR is just like such a wonderful program. Like we had it yesterday, actually. Neil was trying to call me during it. And it's honestly just a way for students to just kind of take a break, take a mental break, reset for the month that they need, and just like connect with people that they don't usually get the chance to. Because a lot of the time students separate into their own groups and they don't usually ever get the chance to elaborate and just hang out and be kids. And so that SOAR program kind of just gives them that space to just be themselves authentically. And it also provides them with a trusted adult, because a lot of students around the city like kind of don't feel like they have one specific adult that they can trust. But that SOAR teacher is meant to be that one person that they know that they can rely on, no matter the circumstances.
Thank you so much. That sounds like a fabulous program. It really does. So Daniel, I'm not going to let you go without a question too. So we have a lot of seniors here, and I'm not sure. I'd have to ask the superintendent or Ms. Sear if Daniel is he the first 10th grader that we've had here as a presenter? I really don't know.
Yes, Daniel is the first 10th grader that is
Okay.
presented to you.
All right. So we know we're going to see more of Daniel. So Daniel, I wanted to ask you about your, I think it was called the Unity Fair. Can you tell me a little bit about, more about that and how that came about?
Yes, so our Black Student Union actually hosted it and planned it. So basically they invited all the sports, all the clubs on our campus to come and host a booth. At the booth, all the clubs and all the athletes and everyone that participated got to sell their own individual thing, and it was just a really great way to get our community and all our student body and everyone at our school involved.
Thank you so much. That's also, I don't know, is that something that the public can attend in the future, or is it just for
Yes,
the
so
kids?
it's actually open to everybody.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, so we'd love to hear more about that. Thank you both so much for answering my questions, appreciate it.
Thank you, Trustee Cavazos. Trustee Zamora.
I did turn it off. Oh my goodness. Hello. Yes, I definitely flagged that you were the youngest. Congratulations. I am amazed to hear how much the chaparral community, though, is coming back even years later to support. I love hearing that. So congratulations more than anything to chaparral, because that means a lot. A question for David I had was, what do you think it is that's making all the other students participate in, the quotes, the posters you make, the positive posters, even interacting in the assemblies and everyone really participating? Because it sounds like you all are a very close, group there. What do you think it is that motivates them to participate?
Yeah, I would probably say our biggest motivation is our principal, Miss Wagner. She just goes out of her way to make every student feel like a rock star. And it kind of just makes them uplifted and makes them want to be more included in that. Like me, my freshman year, I was a scared freshman who had his whole life ahead of him, and Miss Wagner made sure every single day that I came in and wanted to be part of those things, and kind of like just made high school such like a dream for me. Because a lot of the times kids just go to school, go home, go to school, go to home. And for me, it's been just like an adventure, and it's kind of all because of her. And I also do think it is the influence of all of your friends, because once she infects one of your friends with all that joy and happiness, it makes the rest of your friends want to be a part of that too. And I don't know, that's what got me, as I saw how people felt and reacted with her messages and made their lives better. So I was all in when I saw that. So
Thank you for sharing. That says a lot. And I have one more question. Who's judging the rah-rahs?
it actually is a sound meter, but Ms. Wagner does hold the sound meter in the center of the gym.
Interesting. Thank you.
It does get pretty intense.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zamora. Trustee Esparza Stafford.
Gentlemen, thank you. I've had the pleasure of knowing both of your principals, and they're amazing. Leadership matters, right? So, David, thank you for mentioning, and I appreciate your mention about the We Matter Week. So I'll ask you first, and then I'll have a question for Daniel. Can you go a little bit more in depth about the We Matter activities?
Yes. So for We Matter this week, each day, group of student council members are charged with coming up with a creative way of inviting kids into school. The seniors started it off with the week, and they brought a giant bubble gun, a huge speaker, and made sure that they said hi to every single student, not just big groups. They said every name, they knew every person, just to make them feel more known and important to the community. Along with that, we've also had some activities, like we have like 4-leaf clovers with everyone's names on them around the lockers at school with a certain number, and you have to first go find your own name, and then you have to find the name that matches yours as well. And then you have to go find that person and bring them to the student council room to win your prize or your candy. And I found it a great way to just go introduce yourself to a new person and greet. And it's usually someone you either don't know, or it could be your best friend, but it's pretty random. And I just think that's given, like, my person that I got was this sophomore that I had never met before, and now he's coming up to me in school every day, talking to me like we've known each other for years now. And I just think it's been a great way for me to meet and interact with new people.
David, thank you for that. And you are so right. This is our favorite part of all meetings. because your ideas are so amazing. And we want to hear that because it matters. You're making connections. Daniel, you ready? Okay. It's not scary. I love the Cowboy Crew mentoring, right? So when you were a freshman, did you have a mentor? And can you talk to us about that experience for you as a freshman?
So as a freshman, I didn't really have a mentor like that, besides the people in student council. So like one of those people was Abigail. So she really helped me a lot in pursuing new leadership goals and leadership positions. And I feel like when I joined student council, I really had all those new people to help guide me. And I feel like without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. And also another person that I really had was Miss Cummings. In 8th grade, I took at the 2024 graduation class when they graduated. And after that, she had been showing me many new opportunities and just opening many new doors for me. Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Biassatti.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Daniel and David, for walking us through those experiences. They are wonderful. I just want to say congratulations to you both, and congratulations to your parents and the principals for a job well done. Thank you.
All right, if we don't have anybody else, thank you guys. I say this often, it takes a lot of courage to come sit before everyone and know you've got family behind you, your principals are behind you. You guys did an amazing job, so thank you. Okay, before I open the consent agenda, has anybody not filled out a public speaker comment card? You have not? We have them up here in the front if you'd like to come grab one. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open item 3, consent agenda information. We have public comment for consent, I believe. Sylvania, I don't want to say the last name wrong. Jover? Jovier? Oh, okay. So I signed up for 312 and then for general public comment.
Yeah, she's on there.
So 312 is in the consent agenda, so you're allowed to speak on that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just come on up to this mic and then state your name for the record, please. Thank you.
Okay. So my name is Silvina Jover, Silvinajovr, for the record. Good evening, Madam President, trustees at large. My name is Silvina Jover. I am a high school ELAT specialist within CCSD, a part-time instructor at UNLV, and a researcher focused on student achievement, specifically emerging bilinguals. I am speaking on item 312. The revised language in policy 6165 explicitly mandates that we leverage linguistic and cultural assets to eliminate gaps in student achievement. To do this effectively, we must recognize that multilingualism is a world-class tool for success. While this policy focuses on English learners, the most effective systemic plan for language acquisition is a dual language model that prepares all students, both native English speakers and emerging bilinguals, to compete in a global economy. Our approach should be grounded in WestEd's research on high-challenge, academically rigorous environments. Ofelia Garcia's work shows that when students use their full linguistic repertoire, they develop superior cognitive flexibility. Furthermore, Sonia Nieto highlights that academic success is tied to affirming a student's background. By treating a primary language as a foundational asset rather than something to be replaced, we ensure students reach the high school graduation rates and content proficiency this policy demands. We see a potential of this asset-based approach in our current ELAT programming, specifically through FLS and ALC courses, which I teach. These are vital transitional models, however, they're stepping stones. During this period of strategic planning and the operation of the Portrait of a Nevada Learner, I highly encourage us to embrace dual language programming as the viable, research-proven approach to truly make CCSD a destination district for all students. As you approve these revisions to Policy 6165, let us choose a path that treats multilingualism as the professional gold standards for every student in Clark County. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think. Okay, that said, do I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda? Trustee Bustamante Adams.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to adopt the consent agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Trustee Esparza Stoffergen.
I'll second.
Great. Let's go ahead and vote. Motion passes. Thank you. Before we move on, Trustee Dominguez, please read the warrants.
Thank you, Madam President. Ratified warrants as listed in the bills payable transmittal and board memorandum number 152526 in the total amount of $165,732,141.91. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move on to 4.01, Trustee and Superintendent Business Items, Educational Operational Efficiency Assessment Study Progress Update. This is not an action item. Go ahead and have staff come up for a presentation.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Ebert. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Greg Gibson from Gibson Consulting Group. He is here to give you a brief update on our progress on the educational and operational efficiency study. So at this time, I am going to turn it over to Mr. Gibson.
Thank you, Felicia. Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Ebert, thank you for this opportunity to give you an update on the Educational and Operational Efficiency Assessment Study. Before I start, I'd like to give a special thanks to two individuals, one of whom is sitting next to me. Felicia Gonzalez has been the district's lead for project communications and decisions, and we have appreciated her time and the value that she is bringing to the study. My two project managers and I have really enjoyed working with you. Thank you. Also would like to send a special thanks to Christopher Huffman. Chris is your data guru, and he's amazing. We asked for a lot of data. These studies are very data intensive, and we asked for a lot of data, information, data extracts, and we have never received so much data and information in such a short period of time. And in my 30-plus years of doing this work, there has been none better than Chris. I wanted you to know that. Chris, is he here? I hope that word gets to him. I think it already has, actually. The purpose of this presentation is to give you a progress update and answer any questions you might have. These 4 items reflect the study objectives stated in the district's request for proposal. I thought it was important to see these again as our work is grounded in these objectives. 1, improve student outcomes. 2, assess how well financial and staffing resources align with district priorities. 3, evaluate how people, time, and money are organized and managed. And 4, strengthen budget strategy, transparency, and return on investment. Our project objective is to focus on the 10 to 12 major opportunities that will either significantly improve student achievement or provide $10 million or more of annually recurring general fund cost savings. This focus drove a 2-phased approach. Phase 1 is a comprehensive data scan, interviews, analyses, and assessments across all educational and operational areas, and the development of preliminary opportunities. Phase 2 takes a deeper dive into these opportunities and converts them into formal recommendations. This phase also includes helping ensure that these recommendations are set up for success. These include a deeper dive into these major opportunities, implementation planning, solidifying the fiscal impacts, and implementation monitoring and accountability at the individual recommendation level and for their entirety. This slide shows a chart depicting our project schedule. Phase 1 activities are shown in blue, and the Phase 2 activities are shown in yellow or gold. There are 6 months on this slide, but most of the work will be done in 4 months between mid-January and mid-May. The following slides will show the progress we've made against this schedule. The Phase 1 status, the board approved our contract on January 8th. We started the next day on January 9th. And we spent the first 6 weeks collecting and analyzing the data that Chris helped provide. In late February, we conducted our site visit, and I thought I'd share a few statistics relating to our site visit. We had a team of 25 on site. We conducted 150 Clark County School District interviews and 11 external stakeholder interviews. We conducted 9 focus groups, primarily of school principals and teachers. We visited 38 schools, approximately 2/3 of which were for educational purposes and 1/3 for operational purposes. And we are now in the stage of developing and discussing preliminary opportunities with district leadership. Phase 2 project status, we haven't started Phase 2 just yet, but these are the target dates for Phase 2 activities, culminating with the presentation of the final report to this board on June 3rd. That concludes my progress update presentation, and I am ready to answer any questions you might have.
Trustee Johnson.
It's not lost on me that you were incredibly efficient with this, so it seems like you're going to be good at the study. Just the one question I have is back on slide number 2, and it was, I'm really excited to think about this right there. I'm sorry, slide 3, I guess it is. To provide $10 million or more of annual recurring general fund cost savings. That's fantastic. I mean, that's a lot of rocks to uncover, and it seems like we've already been pretty efficient with our funds. So do you think there's a high probability that we'll find more than one space where we can find $10 million or more of annual recurring funds?
We hope so.
I hope so too.
And you know, if the threshold needs to be dropped, we're not going to say, well, it's not over 10 million. We're not going to talk about it. So we believe that we will have opportunities and recommendations that will yield that level of savings.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Trustee Zamora.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for the presentation. I don't have a question. I have more of comments. Looking at the timeline for Phase 2, it seems like tomorrow morning we're going to get started, right? It's a joke. It's a joke because it's the 26th. Superintendent Ebert, I just want to say thank you because this is when we're talking about transparency, one of the things, right? This is just an update. This is not an action item, but it's given us an idea of where we're at in these phases. I think one thing that we've always have seen is we're paying for things, we don't know where we're at in progress sometimes, and we don't get updates until the very end, until we have to make a decision. So I just thank you for this new, these updates because it is very helpful to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Cavazos.
I wanted to ask you, and I think that Trustee Johnson already asked part of the question already having to do with the $10 million. So how was that $10 million amount arrived at? How is that configured?
Well, it represents about 1/3 of 1% of your general fund budget.
Okay, and that question was answered on the briefing, but it was asked again by a constituent, so I wanted to go ahead and just put it out there. And the other question I had was on the project status on Phase 1. Again, on the external stakeholders, I didn't quite catch how many stakeholders and who and how was that determined?
There were 11 stakeholders. We do this on all projects of this sort. We find that they provide rich context for the study. We're obviously not gathering detailed factual information, but a lot of them had a really interesting historical perspective on things, because several of them had been involved for many years with the school system and were familiar with things going on in the school system. So I did about half of them. One of my executive director did the other half, and they were fantastic. They were really enjoyable, and we got a lot of value from their input.
Thank you for that. So just to clarify, so were these stakeholders, they were pulled, it sounded like they were pulled from like groups that already been active with the district for some time, like partnerships, or if you could give some examples?
Yes, I mean, I asked for, there's certain representatives we like to speak with. Union representatives, chambers of commerce, other organizations that might be in some communities. It's there's taxpayer groups. So we have some suggestions, and the district had some suggestions, and we basically folded those together and came up with a really good list.
Okay. Thank you so much. It sounds like it was a very diverse group, so I appreciate your answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Bustamante Adams.
Thank you, Madam President. That was one of my questions, so thank you, Trustee Cavazos. My other question, Mr. Gibson, has to do with, you said you had 30 years experience, and so other groups who have done this type of exercise before, what were some of the pitfalls that school board trustees fell into once they received the data back, just so that we could prepare ourselves and make sure that we do not fall into a negative place?
Yeah, these studies move cheese, and so these are big changes. That's why we wanted to focus on 10 to 12, and we expect them to be impactful. In our work with other school systems, we have found that they've been open, and in some cases, they started implementing our recommendations before we left town. It's been a wide range. I will tell you that turnover often affects at the board level, at the superintendent level, can affect out-year implementation and success. But I don't know if I have any suggestions for this board other than being open to the change that these would bring, because they're to help you get better, to help you be more efficient. And so I think as a board member, that would be a fairly easy sell for you and for the superintendent to carry things forward.
Thank you. Trustee Esparza-Stoffergan.
Okay, I only have 2 questions. Shocking. So, and actually this first one, it's more of a wondering, and I don't even know if I need an answer now, but I want to put it on record. On this slide, it talks about the facility visits. We're in the midst of our facility master plan, doing some more community meetings. So I'm just wondering in the future, some of that community conversations will shape, if at all, maybe this end of year report in June. Just putting it out there. I don't even need an answer to that. So is that okay? Or you want to say something?
I would actually ask the district to respond to that.
Okay.
Since that strategic planning project is their project, and I think our work is
separate.
Is separate from that, but
Right.
we'll ultimately.
And I don't want to get off the agenda item, so I'll just say we'll leave it on record. How's that, Madam President? Second question is actually on slide 6, I believe. Second question. 6 of 7. So I'm wondering, with the timeline from the draft final report, then it goes to CCSD as feedback. does CCSD and the Board of Trustees provide feedback, or is it just the CCSD personnel will give feedback before the final report comes to us?
The latter. It's just the administration.
Okay, got it. Oh, so we'll see the final report with the feedback and input from CCSD. Thank you. That's it.
Trustee Barone, you stealthy man. I didn't even see you come in. There he is. Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
I like to fly under the radar. And of course, I want to thank members of the board and, of course, our superintendent and deputy superintendent who joined us for the State of the City. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much, Madam President. Actually, most of my question was kind of answered by the trustee. But little quick thing here. So this is actually a really tight timeline, you know, for the study. Do we already have some colloquial information that you can share with us as the places where we might find the most amount of efficiencies?
I do not at this time. It's not fair to the board, and it's really not fair to the
thought I'd try, you know.
to share anything until it's final. So until it's finalized, we won't be telling anybody anything about this work until the final report is issued.
I get it. It just, you know, everyone likes a sneak preview, you know, just saying. Everyone likes a sneak preview. It's the way that the business is done. And so I really am looking forward to seeing how we're able to find, I'm sure we can find many efficiencies, and we have the right team to do it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Trustee Henry.
How are we expanding the stakeholders so we can have a diverse group and it's not the same people?
Well, I think when we added our list, our suggestions to the list, I think we did have that diversity. There were also some invitations sent out, and some were not able to make it work, but I think we started with a larger number. But I felt comfortable with the diversity and the breadth, the difference across all the stakeholders, that we got a really well-rounded, when you put it all together, I felt like we got a really good representative voice from this community.
Thank you.
Trustee Dominguez.
Thank you, Madam President. I was looking at page 3. So when we're going through and we're discovering if areas where we can better improve, are we just limiting ourselves to these 12 or 10 or 12? Or are we going to go, is CCSD going to receive the list for the entire areas where we can improve?
For the report, we're going to focus on the 10 to 12 areas. Mm-hmm. After this project is complete, if they would like to hear our other things that we saw or observed, we'd be happy to share it with the administration, but it won't be in any formal report. But we would like to have them benefit from things that we learned and observed. If they didn't meet the criteria, it doesn't mean it's not important at all. So we would like to have that opportunity if the administration is interested after the report is presented to the board.
Got it. Thank you. And my last question is for our superintendent. I'm not sure if we can, but if we can, if the board could be up to date on what happens after when phase 1 is complete, if the board can receive an update from that. But that's a simple request.
We'll keep you posted. I can do that in the weekly, but there's not going to be, so first of all, thank you, Gibson, for doing this work, and thank the board for allowing us to do this work, right? The whole reason for this is to have a third party, right? Not us assessing ourselves, but also to go cut across the entire organization. So right now, it really is draft. There have been, during interviews, and this happens all the time, even when you interview, someone will come up to you and say X, Y, Z, and take it as fact. But then you have to dig deeper behind that and learn more. And so that's the process that we're in. So phase one is really a data gathering, and the analysis is all going to come through phase two. And that's what you will want to look at, inspect, once it's here. We will take a look at it. We expect these, 10 to 12 items, very large, right? This is fifth largest school district in the nation. So taking those 10 to 12 items will take us probably some of them very quickly to start implementing, but others, when you talk about instruction and an instructional shift, right, it's going to take 1 to 2, maybe even longer to just take those pieces. So the report itself is going to be very robust, have comparisons to other school districts, and we're looking forward to that. But this first phase is truly just data gathering. The analysis is what we're looking at, which is phase two.
Got it. Thank you.
I'll close this out. I'm just looking for some clarification, if you would, because I'm making an assumption in my head, and I just want to make sure I'm not assuming wrong. Where it says that where is it? I think it's, here we go. The 10 to 12 major opportunities, either they significantly improve student achievement and or provide the 10 million in savings for the general fund. So am I to assume that the efficiencies, we're not looking at any kind of facilities or anything like that? We're looking at processes, can you give me kind of the purview there? Because facilities would be the bond, right? And we already have somebody doing those efficiencies, I would assume.
Madam President, you're correct. The facility master plan does, that's, the funding it comes out of bond.
Yep.
And so this is not part of this efficiency study.
So nothing in facilities would be part of the 10 to 12?
There may be areas within facilities that impact the general fund, but because we just went over the facility master plan, and when it comes to the building of facilities or the renovation of facilities, et cetera, that is part of bond funding and would not be part of this.
Okay. That helps me. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. That is not an action item, so we can go ahead and close out 4.01. Thank you. And we'll go ahead and open 4.02, also not an action item, strategic plan update.
Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Ebert. Once again, Felicia Gonzalez, Deputy Superintendent, Business Operations for the record. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Anna Colquitt. She will be providing us an update on our strategic planning process.
Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Ebert, Anna Colquitt for the record. Today, I am honored to provide an update on the district's strategic plan development. It is essential that we define not just what success for this plan looked like, but also for the process in developing the plan. And so we have identified 4 key success criteria that serve as the North Star for this process and the plan itself. First and foremost, every decision we make must be filtered through the lens of the student and their success. Second, to become the destination district, we must ensure that CCSD is the first choice for families and employees alike. This means cultivating a culture where our staff, families, and students feel safe and deeply committed to our collective mission. Third, we need to build community and trust, not just with the final plan itself, but in the process as well. We want every stakeholder in Southern Nevada to feel a sense of pride and shared ownership in our priorities. Finally, we want to create clarity and momentum. This plan cannot sit on a shelf. It must provide clear, specific direction that motivates immediate and long-term progress. To arrive at our final goals, we have undertaken an exhaustive, multi-phased engagement process. This timeline illustrates how we have transitioned from broad community listening to our current phase of strategic synthesis. For context, it is important to note that the strategic plan is not being created in isolation. We are building on the ideas set out in the superintendent's 100-day plan, which then informed the core 4 priority areas, which are unsurprisingly showing up as key focus areas for the strategic plan. Phase 1 of this process was deep listening. We began by centering the voices of those most impacted, our students. Through the Superintendent Student Advisory Council and trustee meetings, we engaged over 120 individuals in direct dialogue to understand student perspectives of what they need in their education. The Destination District Survey followed. We received just under 48,000 responses, and 63% of those were students. We offered this survey in over 130 languages to ensure that no barrier prevented participation. To further engage the community, we conducted interviews with 112 leaders from the business, nonprofit, and elected sectors to align district goals with regional needs. Earlier this year, we hosted 9 community dream sessions across the district. With over 1,000 attendees, these sessions were instrumental in defining what a destination district truly looked like to our families. During these dream sessions, we created the posters that you see on the wall today, so please, as you're exiting or now, wonderful artifacts that we created during these dream sessions. We consolidated these thousands of data points into a summary report that serves as the foundation of our current work, which is the What We Heard So Far report. It is attached as a reference to this presentation. That's currently in the thick of leadership planning sessions, and here we are taking all of that community feedback and grounding it in our district data to shape the actual pillars of the plan. All of this work culminates this May. We look forward to launching a clear, community-driven roadmap that will guide CCSD towards sustained student success. In the What We Heard So Far report, we synthesized tens of thousands of responses and hundreds of hours of conversations into 3 high-level priorities that our community believes will move the needle for CCSD. First, learning experiences that prepare students for life. Stakeholders are calling for a shift from rote compliance to meaningful, real-world instruction. Second, supportive environments where every student can thrive. Finally, our community wants an education system that creates a place where trust and shared responsibility drive student success. Our community wants a culture of transparency where the district and families are true partners. We hear the desire to build a model of mutual accountability where everyone, from district leadership to local business, play an active role in student success. Next, I will highlight the 3 priority areas from the Community Dream Sessions themselves. From our Community Dream Sessions, one message was unmistakable. Learning is most effective when it is meaningful, challenging, and connected to the real world. Our community wants to move away from the compliance-based schooling, and we hear the desire to transition towards a system that emphasizes both academic excellence and the development of durable skills. We aren't starting from scratch here, though. We are building on our core 4 initiatives to maintain high academic expectations. By integrating durable skills like communication and collaboration into daily education, we ensure every student is prepared for the complexities of life beyond graduation. One of the most consistent pieces of feedback that we received was about the consistency of opportunities within the district. While CCSD has incredible pockets of excellence in magnets, career and technical education programs, and our 5-star schools, they aren't yet accessible to every student. The overall sentiment was that your zip code should not determine the quality of career preparation that you received. Even during the student reports today, we got to hear about the impact of these programs from Daniel and just how powerful they can be for our students. We want to expand these successful models so that high-quality, career-connected pathways are a standard experience for all of our students in this district. This isn't just a district initiative. We must cultivate a system where local industries and the district work hand in hand to prepare the next generation of our leaders. Our dream sessions reinforced a critical truth, and that is that a student cannot focus on learning if they do not feel safe. However, our community challenged us to look at safety through a much broader lens than just security protocols. While physical safety is a baseline requirement, true safety is rooted in psychological security and respectful relationships. We want schools to be supportive environments where every student feels seen, known, and valued by the adults in the building. We heard about this today in our student reports as well, and an emphasis on safety and connection through David's student report. He described the necessity of physical safety, but also emphasized all of the small things that we can do at the school level to ensure kids feel connected to each other and the school staff. As we move into the final stages of drafting, it is important to clarify exactly what this strategic plan is, and just as importantly, what it is not. This document is designed to be a functional tool. It defines the specific outcomes we are working towards and the formal commitments we are making to our students and our community. It ensures that everyone, from the board and district leadership to individuals and community partners, are pulling in the same direction with a shared understanding of our goals. It allows us to clearly articulate our vision and priorities so that students, families, and staff know exactly where we are all headed. Perhaps most importantly, it provides a consistent lens. When new opportunities or trade-offs arise, we will ask, does this align with our strategic priorities? In short, this plan is our North Star. It keeps our efforts focused, our decisions consistent, and our results transparent. To ensure this plan remains effective, we must also be clear about its limitations. It's a high-level roadmap, not a daily manual. It serves a very specific function in our district's ecosystem. This document establishes our long-term priorities and the why behind our work. It does not outline every individual step for every department. Detailed operational and tactical planning will follow this launch to translate these broad strategies into specific actions. This plan will also not catalog every single activity currently underway. It intentionally highlights our most critical strategic priorities, the areas where we must see significant growth and transformation. We are not creating this document simply because it is required to check a box. The goal is to produce a living, breathing framework that helps us make faster, clearer decisions and ensures every employee is aligned toward the same vision. By defining what this plan is not, we protect its ability to be a meaningful driver of change rather than just another binder on a shelf. As we conclude today's update, I want to leave you with a reflection from one of our community dream sessions that captures the spirit of this work. This captures the high stakes of our mission. The community is cheering for us, and they understand that the health of Southern Nevada is intrinsically linked to the success of our students and our schools. We are currently in the final stages of our plan development. Our leadership teams are taking all of the insights from the survey, interviews, and community dream sessions and mapping it alongside district performance metrics to finalize our strategic plan and key performance indicators. This May, we will return to present the completed strategic plan. Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Ebert, I want to extend a sincere thank you for your partnership in this process. We look forward to sharing the final vision with you in May. I am now happy to take any questions or hear your comments.
Thank you. Trustee Zamora.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for the update. I do have a question from page 7, safety and connection. As you were presenting, I got the message, it is very heavy on building those relationships again between families, our educators and our families and everyone else. I don't want to assume, but I also want to make sure I ask the question that this is also between staff and the admins and the higher level, because one thing that I know since being in this position, and it's not our current admin, but it's the past, and there's a lot of PTSD, I feel like is the best way I can put it, of people feeling like there's a lot of retaliation. Would this be included of also building those relationships and feeling that safety net and connection?
Trustee Zamora, Anna Colquitt for the record. Thank you for asking that question, and it has been central in this conversation that our community has been loud and clear that those connections are critical at every level. So we've talked a lot about the peer-to-peer interactions, the educator-to-peer interaction, the educator-to-educator interactions, admin to educator, admin to student, truly at every level of that. And so that has been central in our discussions, that those respectful relationships need to continue to be refined at every level. And I also just want to point back to our success criteria and not just the valuing our people, because that's exactly what we mean by that too, but also the building community and trust, because we know that there are severe fractures that exist in that space. And we hope that not just through the plan itself, but through this very interactive process of developing the plan, that we have started to continue to build those relationships.
And thank you for mentioning that, because I did highlight the build community and trust, because I do feel it falls under that as well. Superintendent, I do have an ask if we can be more intentional of mentioning that too. I know it's kind of a hot word to use sometimes, but I think if we're just facing it head on as well, I think it will help with the transparency part as we're building this. Thank you.
Trustee Biasotti.
Thank you, Madam President. Just to piggyback off of what Trustee Zamora said, that was exactly my thought process in all of that. I know just opening your first line, every decision guided by student success. The classroom climate is conducive to just that success. And so I did also want us to focus more on the mechanisms in place to support our educators who do feel retaliated against. Even before I was elected into this position, countless times we can all recall when there have been educators who have been speaking up during these meetings and continue to do so. So I just want to make sure they're not overlooked in this process. So thank you.
I appreciate that, Trustee Biasotti. And I just want to mention one of the other notes on valuing our people. And again, this is our success criteria. So every time we talk about any stage of development for this plan, these are the things we come back to. And in valuing our people, talking about students, families, employees, and community feel proud to be a part of CCSD. And I think that highlights exactly what you're talking about, and that is central to this process and then the plan itself as well.
Trustee Esparza-Stoffergen.
This is so much work, so thank you both. It's been, I would say, a combination of all things, right? We've been trying to have community trustee meetings. I know we appreciate our superintendent really elevating our student voice. So trying to have everyone heard. I want to go to the report, what is it called, what we've heard so far? And I want to ask you a process question. When I look at all the groups that are inclusive of being a part of the listening, what is the loop back process of, and so that's the first part of the question. You have like 40 groups here, well represented as far as like diversity in voices and I would say experience with the school district. What is the loop back with those groups specifically? And then I have a follow-up to that.
Trustee Esparza-Stoffergen, thank you for your question. And that is actually what we are currently figuring out. That is our next stage of development as we're looking at taking all of their inputs, so those 112 interviews that we conducted. We have all of their feedback, and you all participated in those interviews as well, so thank you for that. And now we are thinking about how do we continue to engage our community and those that provided input to this strategic plan past its launch. So the launch is not the end of this plan and community engagement. And so when we look at our success criteria, that is going to drive what our next steps are past plan development. So really appreciate you asking that, and it is something that we are currently addressing.
Thank you for the transparency. I mean, that I think is key because of Trustee Zamora mentioned the PTSD, that, you know, we listen and then here's the plan. So I think that's crucial and key. Now, here's the second part to this, what if other groups want to get involved? Maybe they're not on this list of 40, so how can they do that, and what is the protocol?
Anna Colquitt for the record. I think this question builds on your last question and also highlights why the community dream sessions followed the What We Heard So Far report, because that report captured the just under 48,000 survey participants. So we know a lot, you know, it wasn't just those 112 interviews, it was also the just under 48,000. And then in addition to that, we use the What We Heard So Far report to inform the community dream session. So this was an iterative process where we weren't just releasing things in isolation. We used the findings from the What We Heard So Far report to then create the foundation for the conversations that we had at the community dream sessions. So as you see, it was designed in the experiences that our students are having, the environments in which they're learning, and the relationships that we form within schools. And that was informed by the What We Heard So Far report. So at each stage, we have built on and grown in the community engagement that we've done. And we don't plan to stop.
Thank you for that. And it's so intentional. It's brilliant. Thank you. And if they want to get on this page in the future, how can an organization reach out to the district, if possible?
All of our districts.
I'll jump in. I want to clarify a couple things. Trustee, I want to make sure that we're on the same page. What I heard you just say and what I heard Dr. Colquitt answer, did you ask the question, are we, once we have the final on May, or before we have the final in May, are we going out again to the entire public? Because that's not how she responded. So, but that's
No.
what I heard you say just now.
No, my question was the page that I'm looking at where it says grateful for our partners' voices. There's like 40 different groups.
Yes.
Are they going to come back in the process for a second feedback?
No.
Oh, so that first topic, they gave their feedback, it's over. Okay.
Well, no, their feedback
Okay.
was produced. So that's what I wanted to clarify on, because I don't think that's what was answered. So thank you. So we went out and got the 48,000 surveys, plus did the interviews, the 112. All of that information was put in the What We Heard. From the What We Heard, that's where we wanted, did we hear you? Because that is very intentional, right?
Yeah.
So, because that's usually what fails and develop the failure point in developing any plan. People go out and say, oh, I've surveyed, and then they go out and produce a report, right? You always have to iterate, and so that's why we've been very intentional, and it has taken a long time. We went out and surveyed, then we produced the What We Heard So Far. So that was the opportunity for 48,000 people to say, did we hear you correctly? And that was that opportunity. Now we're iterating and getting into the news. But once a plan is launched, and that's where Dr. Colquitt went, you know, it is setting the record straight. But you absolutely, will we make mid-course corrections as we're going along? Yes.
Thank you for the clarity. So, and the reason I even asked that is because whenever someone doesn't see their organization on that list, they feel excluded. It doesn't mean that they aren't part of the process or they won't have an opportunity, but you're telling me that this group will not be revisited, and that's okay. So thank you for the clarity, and now it actually will not have misinformation that even though you weren't necessarily one of the ones that was interviewed, there was still representation throughout the community as a whole. Thank you.
Trustee Cavazos.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Trustee Zamora and Esparza Stofrican, for covering some of the territory that I now don't have to ask about. I did have a question on the supportive environment, kind of following up on Trustee Zamora. Was there any one specific thing besides the rebuilding trust that was a consistent aspect in that supportive environment, whether it was from students or one of the other groups? Because I was noticing that I think it was like something like 63%. We were so happy that 63% were students.
To clarify, you are asking in the destination district survey that we
Yes.
put out that had just under 48,000. Okay.
Mhm.
And were there other common themes?
Right, another common theme.
Yes. So that taken with the community interviews is what created the themes that were in the What We Heard So Far report.
Okay.
So that had direct quotes from the surveys and from the interviews pulled together into that report.
Was there, and thank you so much, Dr. Colquitt. I wish we could, just bottle up your enthusiasm, how you were so enthusiastic for this, and keep us all, going here. Really appreciate it. So thank you for that clarification. I had one other question that had to do with, I didn't write down the slide, on the career-connected learning. How can we expand? We have partnerships, good partnerships with our labor unions. We have apprenticeships. We have the career technical training. How can we expand, and streamline the pipeline for our students? They graduate, they're ready. How can we expand our partnership with the labor unions?
That is what we are currently exploring. So this was a resounding theme from every interview, from our survey, from our community dream sessions, is that we have incredible pockets of excellence. We have great programs. How can we bring these to full scale? And this is where I was mentioning those partnerships and where the work doesn't end here, because we are going to rely on these partnerships in order to bring this work to life and bring this plan to life and in its implementation stage. And so we are looking at right now, that is the current stage we are in, to define what those strategies are going to look like. But it was emphasized to such a great degree that career-connected learning is critical.
Thank you so much for that clarification. I'm really happy to hear that work is continuing and that we're going in that direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Trustee Bustamante Adams.
Thank you, Madam President. And I can also reiterate that as I'm about, I hear the community saying that they've been heard and that the shift towards CCSD is changing, and so thank you for the superintendent and your work on your staff. Here's my question. So we are at this stage of the plan, and soon, and help remind me, Superintendent, but is this where at some point we haven't been using a framework, right, to report on eventually student outcomes? When does that part happen? Is that also in May?
Superintendent Ebert, for the record, yes, we will bring you the final report, or strategic plan in May, and it will have those metrics in it, and that will be an item that you will vote on.
And then will that be an interactive, so you'll make recommendations to the team, the 11 of us, and then will it be a conversation like, do we want to add a metric? Is there something missing? What would that look like?
You will vote it up or you will vote it down.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Dominguez.
Thank you, Madam President. So you've touched on this already, so I won't hammer it down, but I look forward to seeing the roadmap to after you've collected all the data and put it all together. I look forward to the roadmap of how we're going to keep this going versus just leaving it as a binder in the shelf somewhere. So I really appreciate that comment. I had attended the community input, the dream session in Indian Springs, and I really appreciated the amount of effort you took to the rural communities, and I just wanted to say that. So thank you for doing that, and I look forward to the process.
Trustee Zamora.
Thank you, Madam President. I do appreciate the expansion of, even going down to the rurals. I did see also that you did the survey in 130 languages, which is amazing. I heard the gasps with my colleagues over here, and that's huge, right? Because we're meeting people where we're at. I do have one question. I know Superintendent and I already had a conversation about this. The Spanish-only meeting that was done, did we do one in person? I think we had Spanish translators. I can't remember.
Anna Colquitt for the record. We had Spanish translators at every in-person session, and then the virtual sessions had Spanish-specific sessions as well.
Do we know how many virtual ones we had?
3 virtual sessions.
Okay. And I asked this because I did have a little bit of feedback of, the participation, and one thing that we did learn, because I know with our facilities, other meetings, we're intentional about the Spanish only in person. It is the participation part of it. Translation it's harder to try to translate your thoughts, and Anna, you shaking your head because I feel like you all experienced it in those moments of it's not the same. It's not the same trying to translate everything. I think it's a little there you go, lost in translation. Thank you. So I'm hoping we were able to at least get a little bit of information in those virtual sessions. And Felicia, I feel like you're about to jump in. Go ahead.
Anna Colquitt for the record. I appreciate this comment, and it's actually something that we explored mid-process and discovered kind of mid-process, and therefore we made adjustments where our final or our last few community dream sessions actually had Spanish facilitators there that were guiding those groups within our dream sessions to ensure that the interactions were consistent with the dream session. So that was for the in-person sessions, though.
So a good learning lesson, it sounds like, and moving forward, hopefully, I know Superintendent has said that she is going to be more intentional about this too, so thank you.
Seeing as there's nobody else in the queue, that concludes 4.02. Thank you, ladies. That was awesome. It's great. Before we move forward, is there anyone who did not get a chance to complete a public speaker card? Anybody at all? Okay. This is the time and place to conduct a public hearing on discussion of and possible action on approval of the new 2025 to 2027 negotiated agreement between the Clark County School District and the Police Administrators Association of the Clark County School District. We'll go ahead and open 4.03, public hearing on or possible approval of 2025 to 2027. Go ahead, John.
Thank you very much. John Okazaki, General Counsel for the record. I'm very happy to bring to you tonight the 5th and last negotiated agreement that we have to finalize for the 25-27 biennium. This is for the Police Officer Administration group. I want to thank them like I've done with all of the bargaining units. I found the process to be collaborative. I think they presented themselves as a team, as part of the CCS team, all of the units, and I think they appreciated what the board was doing and to value them as employees. So I think I've been involved a lot in negotiations over the 25 to 26 years I've been here, and this has been one of the most productive ones that I've been involved with. So anyway, I'm happy to bring this last one to you. There are going to be 7 articles that are revised in the PAA negotiated agreement. For your reference, I'm going to be looking off of the revised reference material 4.03A. So let me summarize the revisions. The first one is increasing the number of compensatory hours administrators can earn from the current limit of 160 to 240. Police administrators do not earn overtime, so when we do ask them to work overtime, which is, in that line of work is necessary, their only recourse is to get compensatory hours. Some of them have already exceeded the limit of 160, so moving it up to 240 is just something that we felt was necessary based on the circumstances. Second revision is providing for step advancements, which is typical, but we are providing step advancements for both years of the biennium. The third revision is increasing to 7 instead of 5 the number of vacation days above 85 that an administrator may be compensated for each year. As you know, the rule is that they can't carry more than 85 from year to year, and they have to use them or lose them or cash them in. There's a limit of 5. We're increasing that to 7 so that they can actually cash in 7 days above 85 instead of having to use them or lose them. This is consistent with what we did with CASSA just recently. Number 4 modifies their longevity stipends to account for the fact that they are on a different retirement schedule than other employees. They can retire at 25 years instead of 30. So having a longevity stipend at 30 years didn't make a lot of sense. So we did compress it so that they will get paid they will get an increased longevity stipend on the 10th year, 15th year, 20th year, and 25th year. Number 5 provides that for new administrators, meaning anybody new to the bargaining unit after the execution of this agreement, will receive 4.9% for assignment differential pay instead of 6.9. So this is significant in that they're recognizing the superintendent's and this board's intent to provide equity among all of our employees, salary equity, and this is one of the concessions that they were willing to make to help achieve that goal. Number 6 provides that we will cover the 2% increase in health insurance payments, and again, that's a typical thing. Remember, this unit is only comprised of 10 employees. So, number 7, we are also going to cover the increase in their PERS, the increase in PERS, and that's something that is common for them and for POA. And the last one is just to update the terms to 25-27. The approximate fiscal impact of these changes to their overall value is $366,000, represents approximately 10% of a contract value increase, which is consistent with the other contracts that we negotiated this year. And with that, I will answer any questions anybody has.
Team, do we have any? Okay. Trustee Dominguez?
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Mr. Okazaki, for all this. I do recall everything you just went through, but I was wondering were there any changes from the revised reference that were different that I recall?
No, the revision was we made a clerical error in attaching the wrong pages 2 and 3, so we had to replace pages 2 and 3.
Okay, because I do recall this, and thank you so much for all working together as a team for everyone, so thank you.
Trustee Bustamante Adams.
Thank you, Madam President. No questions. Would be willing to offer a motion when you're ready.
Thank you. Trustee Barone?
Thank you, Madam President. Councilor Okazaki, thank you very much for all your hard work and dealing, of course. There's a lot of our major bargaining groups. I'm just a little bit surprised that that one of the representatives isn't here. It'd be nice to actually see him here and actually hear from them, their point of view. Is there any reason why they didn't make it? Do you know?
I think there is somebody here. He's on duty in the back providing security.
Oh.
But there is a member of PAA present. There usually is at every board meeting.
Okay, I just, it's always nice to hear from a member of their bargaining group, just to get their opinion. And of course, it's always good to connect the leadership of our bargaining groups, right? Their faces with them, because I may or may not necessarily know exactly. I mean, I know a lot of the cops, but I'm not necessarily sure, who's, the honcho there and the bargaining group. Well, in that case, I know it took a while to get there, but again, there's that old song there. You don't always get what you want, but if you work real hard, you can get what you need. So I think they probably got what they needed to, right?
Yes.
Well, if there's no one else, I'd like to second if there's no one else. Thank you.
Before I can entertain a motion, we do have a public comment. So, seeing as there's no other person in the queue, we'll go ahead and open up to public comment. Thank you, Mr. Okazaki. Mr. Gomez? Please state your name for the record.
David Gomez, Nevada Peace Alliance president. Last time we were talking about this, I said it was a good deal, but obviously they had some errors in there with some pages. But I'm just astonished that the people that protect us are the people that they know less about. And I'm talking about the board in whole. That you know less about them. You know less about what's going on. You know less about what they do and why they do what they do. Why I'm out there helping them at Rancho High School, catch all the graffitiers and all the stuff like that. I understand this is about their agreement, but your job, and I mean this to everyone, your job is to know everything there is to know, not wait till you find out from our legal what's really going on with this agenda. Don't say you ask questions. Don't say you're always involved. Don't say this because you have to be involved. It's not a question of whether you want to or you need to. When you get a chance to, you must. And I'm pretty sure everybody understands what the word must means. It's not an option. You have to understand that these police officers protect us, protect our children, protect you guys. You guys get to walk out the back with them, and they protect you from any harm or danger. So it is your responsibility to make sure that you know exactly what they're getting, how they're getting it, and talk to the right people to understand why they're getting it. Don't wait till this happens. I understand you guys want to put a lot of pressure on legal, and he has to answer a lot of questions and explain things, but at the end of the day, this is like you want to be addressed as a board, that's fine, I'll do it that way. So don't get offended if the shoes don't fit. If it do, then hey, I don't know what to tell you. But at the end of the day, it's a good agreement for them. They understand what they're getting. They understand what's happening, and they know exactly what's going to come forward from this. But that does not excuse a trustee, whether it's voted or appointed, not to know exactly what they're doing and how they're doing things, because they are a part of our group, they are a part of our system, and they are a part of what we do. They make sure that everyone is safe, every single person, and they do it to the best of their ability. Thank you, and I support it.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion. Trustee Bustamante Adams.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to approve the new 2025-2027 negotiated agreement between CCSD and the Police Administrators Association of Clark County.
Trustee Barone, I know you wanted to second that.
Second.
Let's go ahead and vote. Motion passes. Thank you. With that, we will close 4.03. This is the time and place to conduct a public hearing on discussion of and possible action on approval of revisions to the 2025 to 2027 negotiated agreement between the Clark County School District and the Police Officers Association of the Clark County School District. Has anybody not filled out a public speaker card? Great. Let's go ahead and open 4.04. Mr. Okazaki.
Thank you. John Okazaki, General Counsel for the record. I'm bringing you tonight revisions to the 25-27 collective bargaining agreement we have with the Police Officers Association. This is one of those mechanisms I was referring to in regard to collaboration. all of the units have agreed that we will continue negotiations throughout the biennium so that we can address ongoing issues in a timely manner. And we're going to do that by me bringing it back to you for inclusion into the negotiated agreement, rather than having MOAs and MOUs just kind of hanging out there. So this is the most recent one that we've agreed with POA. The revisions, there are 4 revisions tonight that I will review with you. The first one has to do with our sick leave pool. This is the pool that is police officers contribute their sick leave to create a pool when one of their officers suffers a catastrophic injury or illness. What we've done here is we've actually defined that term, which, believe it or not, was not defined. We're clarifying and outlining eligibility requirements and procedures, and then we're also providing on a trial basis for this negotiated agreement only a tiebreaker procedure. And what the trial period or the trial is going to be is that if there is a tie among the committee members, which are evenly divided between CCSD and POA, that POA will be able to break the tie. There's not a lot of use of this or access to the sick leave pool, so we're all kind of we're all thinking we're probably never going to have to use it. But if we do, we'll be able to assess how it works because it'll expire at the end of this contract. If it works, we'll put it back in. If it doesn't, it's gone anyway. Number 2, we're updating the overtime rate to be consistent with the intent of previously agreed upon terms. The overtime rate for POA has been ambiguous since we put it in there. Recent legal, I don't want to say precedent, but legal, there's been some action in courts regarding what overtime rate should be. And so considering that, as well as the language that we agreed to in previous agreements, we've clarified what the overtime rate should be. And what I'm talking about here is basically, since overtime is not PERS sensitive and we do not make PERS contributions for overtime, we are not deducting that full amount from their overtime rates. So we're adjusting that accordingly. Number 3 clarifies that for a police officer who is injured on the job and is permanently disabled, we will allow that officer to access and use all accrued leave, sick leave, vacation, any accrued leave they have before we have to terminate them from our employment. And then the last revision is a modification of the sergeant promotion process. And this process was jointly developed with POA, NPAA, and the chief. So all 3 parties involved agreed to this process. And so we're including that in the negotiated agreement. And that is it.
I open it up for discussion with the team. Anybody? Trustee Cavazos?
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Okazaki, I really don't have a question, just a comment. I wanted to thank you for the work that you and your team did on defining the catastrophic illness and streamlining that for our officers. That was really kind of like a murky area, and I understand from the previous process that was kind of convoluted and very difficult to ascertain. So thank you so much for that. That was all I had.
Trustee Zamora?
Thank you, Madam President. I was actually going to I'm just going to ditto what Trustee Cavazos said.
Awesome. Trustee Esparza-Stoffergan?
You know, I just want to take the opportunity to say that this is such a hard thing to do. And I appreciate, and I think not speaking as an individual, but we realize the conversations are not easy. And we know how valuable our police are, and that they are understanding where the district is as well. And I think all the groups have really come in fairness, and I just want to put that on record from observing kind of the feedback that we've received, and we value everyone. And maybe that value may not always be monetarily in that space, but look at the adjustments that have been made and the conversations and the clarity that's being done by really talking to people to understand what are those fixes that need to happen and go forward. So John, I appreciate you, Mr. Okazaki, for opening that door. I don't know that those discussions have happened before. So just wanted to put that on record to you personally and to our superintendent for really changing a culture. It's a big shift. It's a big shift. So I want to thank the school police for being a part of that conversation and open and fair.
Trustee Barone.
Yeah, no, I want to just say that I've been part of several boards and how they deal with their groups. As I understand, this type of negotiation hasn't always necessarily been from the point of view of trust and mutual like understanding here. So again, Counselor, I wanted to thank you for your work, but I also wanted to thank our superintendent and her executive team, and as well the rest of my colleagues here. Again, as I understand, in the not so distant past here, acrimonious would not have necessarily been a word that would have been out of line to use when we're talking about this. So I'm really happy that we have that this board is committed to an open relationship with its negotiated groups or negotiating groups, and I look forward here in the future that we stay on the same path to work together to resolve the task of delivering education to public education to this Valley's children. Thank you again, and again, it would be really nice to listen to the point of view from our friends there from the organization, but I guess we'll give them a pass.
Thank you. As I see nobody else in the queue, let's go ahead and go to public comment. Mr. David Gomez.
For the record, Nevada Peace Alliance President, I just want to say I'm supporting this. I'm not going to get into all the details, but I know how to play the talking game too. So the more you talk, the more I'll talk. The more I'll sign up. We'll do this. So, like I said, we support them. I support what they do. I support how they do things. And there's stories I can tell you, but I don't want to be in violation of FERPA. Thank you.
All right. Does anybody want to begin with a motion to approve this contract? Trustee Biasotti.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda item 4.04, public hearing and possible, superintendent, approval of 4.04.
Okay. Can I get a second? Trustee Zamora.
I'll second that motion. I'll also like to thank my colleagues for giving us a chance to do a motion in a second. Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and vote. Thank you. Motion passes. That closes us out on 4.04. Before I move on, does anybody need to fill out a public speaker card? Seeing none. This is the time and place to conduct a public hearing on discussion of and possible action on approval of revisions to the 2025 to 2027 negotiated agreement between the Clark County School District and the Clark County Association of School Administrators and Professional Technical Employees. Let's go ahead and open 4.05. Mr. Okazaki.
Thank you very much. For the record, John Okazaki, General Counsel. I am presenting to you some further revisions to the negotiated agreement with the Clark County Association of School Administrators and Professional Technical Employees. Exactly what we just did with POA. We are in ongoing talks and negotiations with CASSA, and these are two articles that we have agreed upon and that I'm presenting to you tonight. The first revision has to do with providing a benefit to retiring administrators who have a large number of accrued sick leave on the books on the date that they retire. The current agreement provides that if they have 250 days of sick leave accrued that they're leaving on the books, that we would give them the value of 45 of those days, and put that money into a health reimbursement account that they can use to offset their medical expenses in retirement, their own payment of premiums and deductibles and so on. We are adding to that provision that if they have 200 days, then we will give them the value of 30 days. So now administrators who have at least 200 days can get a benefit of the value of 30 days, and then if they get all the way up to 250, they'll get 45 days. The second one is simply an update and really a clarification of the stipends that we pay administrators who participate in the district's leadership and professional learning division design team. These administrators provide professional learning, they create professional learning, they provide the professional learning, and then they also mentor upcoming administrators, new administrators, as well as teachers. So we have been, there have been provisions in there for stipends. We're just kind of updating it as to what they're actually doing. And those are the only two provisions for CASSA at this time.
Thank you, John. Do I have any questions from my colleagues? Okay, Trustee Cavazos.
I don't have a question, Madam President. I would just be, if there are no questions, oh, I see there are people in the queue. I would be prepared to make a motion.
Trustee Esparza-Stafford.
If there are no questions, I'd be happy to second.
Well, I'd love to entertain a motion. We have a public comment. Mr. Gomez.
No comment.
No comment. All right. We have a motion on the table from Trustee Cavazos and a second from Trustee Esparza-Stafford. Let's vote. Motion passes. All right, that closes out 4.05. Before I open 5.01, anybody need to fill out a public speaker card? Awesome. Let's go ahead and open 5.01 with our first speaker being Mr. Christopher Island. Apologies. Oh, so he signed up twice. Please state your name for the record.
Hi. This is my first time here. Thank you guys very much for allowing me to speak. So I just wanted to make a couple comments, and hopefully you guys can hear my heart more than hear, like, if I mess up my words. I'm supposed to be at work, and I have to wake up in 3 hours, and so this is important. Anyway, so my son, he's 6. He's in a homeschool, and I like it. There's just a couple of issues that I have with the homeschooling that I want to address, and it is a sensitive subject, and I don't want to mistake my words. But so the number one thing I wanted to say is during February there was a Black History Month, and I understand that our kids need to learn and students need to learn about this. My son's 6, and I think that he is. I think that the kids are just not ready for that yet, and I have a mixed household. My wife is Hispanic and I'm Caucasian, and my son's asking after the description of how things were taught to him. We don't talk about skin tone or anything like that in my household. So he's asking questions like, "Why is mom brown, and why are you white?" And I'm like, "What?" It blew my mind. That's one of the reasons I'm here. And so I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I can just, opt out of that session, and which is okay. And then so recently he was in dance fitness, and the teacher was teaching him about Ramadan and Islam, and I have no problem with that with any other religions or any religions. I just felt that when he said, "Are we not going to eat today?" and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm a Christian guy, and I just don't like my son being confused. I would rather be the one to teach him this. And I was thinking that's not right, you know, and I don't want to be a jerk, you know, or like mean to anybody. It's not like that. I thought that at 6 years old, like maybe he should be learning like his ABCs and 1, 2, 3s more so, and having fun. And it's just kind of causing like confusion and stuff. And I personally feel like I can do a good job personally teaching him these personal things rather than the school teaching him things that I don't think he should. I don't think he's mature, and I don't think any kid is mature enough to grasp the concept of what is being pushed. It's almost like, and I mean no offense, but like an indoctrination. These kids they should have fun. Yes, when they're high school, I know that they're more mature, and I think that would be a suitable time. So hopefully you guys can just hear me out. Boom. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. All right. Next, we have Savinia Jovier. Did I say it right this time? Ah, I'm so sorry. Savinia.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, good evening again, Madam President and trustees at large. My name again is Luina Jover. I am an 11-year CCSD veteran and one of the founders of a bilingual parent-led nonprofit. You might have heard of is Padres en Liderazgo. I have taught social studies and ELA bilingually across Cheyenne High School, Desert Pines High School, and Rancho High School. My work with families has shown me a clear reality. Parents in our community are hungry for dual language curricula. We, of course, know that as long as we engage and not only providing simply language tools such as one-off interpreters. They recognize that in a 21st century economy, biliteracy is not just a bonus or multiliteracy for that matter. It is an essential currency for their children's future success. To make CCSD a true destination district, we must follow the science of success. Longitudinal research by Drs. Thomas and Collier, spanning 30 years and 7.5 million student records, proves that high-quality dual language is the only model that fully closes the achievement gap. These students actually outperform their monolingual peers in reading and math by middle school, entering the 11th grade 1 to 2 full grade levels ahead. States like Florida, Texas, and Utah have recognized this for decades, treating biliteracy as a non-negotiable requirement for workforce readiness. Even in Mississippi, that's where I came from before CCSD, I advocated for a curriculum that proved English can be mastered through rigorous academic content. If we want to achieve economic superiority, we don't really want to be outperformed by our neighbors. We don't have to look far to see that this works. Under previous leadership, we successfully put this vision into practice at Roanoke and Robert E. Lake elementary schools, and also at Desert Pines. We have the essential pieces of the puzzle, a multilingual department, the Project Pueblo pipeline at UNLV, and the state's only bilingual education endorsement at Nevada State University, which I was proud to participate in as both a student and as an instructor. Combined with a new PhD in applied linguistics at UNLV, the support of NVSABE, our state chapter of the National Association of Bilingual Education, and the advocacy of Nevada legislators such as Senator Crawford's teacher stipends for dual language educators, we have a foundation for excellence that can be set the national standard. To reach our potential, we must move away from the deficit-based English learner label and recognize our students, as Ofelia Garcia teaches us, as emerging bilinguals or multilingual students. We have hundreds of bilingual and trilingual teachers in our buildings right now who are ready to lead. We must now do the intentional work of identifying and training them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Robert Hudson? Robert Hudson? Okay. Richard Harfield? Please state your name for the record.
My name is Richard Harfield. Dad, they don't have a right to look at me when I'm naked. Dad, they keep grabbing me. Dad, they keep taking pictures of me. This is my 6-year-old son with autism. These are conversations that I have to have with him on a daily basis. Due to the actions of staff and administration at Rundle Elementary. Last year, in the beginning of this year, he was so excited to go to school every day, he would cry if he had to be late, if he had to miss a day. However, October 9th, that all changed when he was assaulted by a staff member at Richard Rundle Elementary. Since then, he has been targeted and bullied, discriminated against based on his disability. Now my son fears going to school based on what they will do to him next. A few months ago, my son was in the bathroom in the stall, going number 2. He likes to undress when he does that. Some students busted into the stall, started making fun of him, looking at him naked, and went and told his teacher, Erica Chavez. The teacher came in and mocked my son for being naked instead of disciplining the students who violated his privacy. And in fact, she chastised my son in front of me at the end of the day when I picked him up. Another incident occurred on February 26th. My son requested behavioral supports on multiple occasions, but was denied by Erica Chavez and David Harrison. When my son started to get visibly upset, David Harrison mocked him by pulling out his personal phone and taking photos, even though my son was begging him to stop. When my son became even more upset, David Harrison put him in a CPI hold, not 1 time, but 2 times, per the statement from David Harrison. That day, my son was suspended from February 26th to March 11th. Carla Buchanan, the new principal at Rundle, decided to lie on the official suspension paperwork. Yesterday, I had a meeting with David Harrison and Erica Chavez regarding the reconvene of an IEP team. After the meeting, I was waiting in the lobby for a paper from Carla Buchanan and was greeted by 4 CCSD police officers, 4 bullies, and also notified that my son at the same time was being suspended again, making more than 20 days this year that my 6-year-old autistic son has been suspended. When my son got to the office, I was informed by Sergeant Rainey as I was filling out an open records request that I was trespassed from the property, and if I did not leave, I would be arrested. My son did not understand why the police were kicking him out of the school. What started out as an ambitious, eager-to-learn young man has quickly turned into an anxiety-filled child who hates to go to school based on harassment, retaliation, discrimination of his disability by David Harrison, Erica Chavez, Emily Petosa, and now Carla Buchanan. My question is to you, why did they have to traumatize my son? Why did they have to terrorize my 6-year-old son? He's a good kid, very loving. All I want is for my son to be able to go to school unharassed and live his life. He deserves to be treated like everybody else, regardless of his disability. He should not be pushed by the wayside and tried to be sent to a STAR program just because he has autism. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Mr. David Gomez.
David Gomez, for the record, Nevada Peace Alliance president. In the Bible, in Luke 6:23-33, it says, "For if you love them which love you, what thanks do you really have? For sinners who love them, or love those who love them. And if you do good to them which only do good to you, what thanks do you really have?" For sinners do the exact same thing. I know a lot of people like to claim to be Christian. There's a difference to pick up that cross and follow. Jesus said, birds have nests, foxes have holes, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. What did that really mean? It meant, I'm homeless. Don't expect me to put you in a mansion. Don't expect me to put you in a castle. Don't expect me to put you in anything on this earth. But expect to follow with tribulation, suffrage, and everything else that comes with it. Why do I do what I do? Because I don't just love those who love me. I love those who hate me. I love those who call me enemy. I love those who want to persecute me. I love those who want to see me fall down. It's okay. And they can continue to do that and wave the banner of Christianity above their head, whatever kind of religion they call themselves affiliated with. But at the end of the day, I wanted to talk about F&P. And this is why I do what I do. I don't do it because I get money. I don't do it because I have the title. I don't do it because I need to sit up there with you guys or sit down over in this chair. I don't do it because of any of those measures and reasons. I do it because I care about the people that live in my community that suffer, the people that don't like me and the people that do like me, the people that hate me and the people that admire and love me. At the end of the day, I give endless amount of hours to these people. You know, they kind of tricked me into getting out of that, which is fine. I'm okay with that. They told me you're getting inside information, but that wasn't true. Nobody shows up to these meetings. Nobody. I'm imploring and I am invoking that you guys show up. I don't care what you have to do. Because if you would like me to send you all an email of what I do on a daily basis, you'll be astonished. I sat in here and sent 4 contracts. I took care of it. I did what I had to do for my job. And I make sure I get up here and I talk. But people need to show up to these facility master plan things, because them tearing apart West Las Vegas at the end of the day and going back to 6th grade centers or prime 6, you know, all in that area, that's not acceptable. You guys are starting a war and a problem with a people that didn't start one with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shondell Newsome. Please state your name for the record.
Thank you. Shondell Newsome for the record. And I want to encourage you with the strategic plan. I'm very excited that we are taking that stance as putting together a strategic plan. I have been working and volunteering with CCSD since the 1990s when I was an airman in the United States Air Force. And back then, they had a program called Payback. And I started volunteering back then, and I saw the challenges and things that were going on. And I've been involved with this trustee board since Shirley Barber and in the days with her. And so I'm very encouraged. I'm very encouraged because I got to attend a dream session. I was very encouraged to hear the report. I wasn't going to speak tonight. I just saw that the work that was put in, and I saw the report and the outcomes. And somebody who is a small business owner, I appreciate the strategic approach to our child's education. My wife and I raised 8 kids in the Clark County School District, but also we own a business and we've been doing it for 20 years. And we've been doing internships over the summer, and we've done internships with college students. And what we're encouraged by is the fact that we are looking at the students first and making sure that they're prepared to come to work. I also spent time in gaming and hospitality, and I always feel that when students are prepared to come into the workforce, it is very encouraging. And so when I heard, when I was in the dream session, that was one of my things, is like, hey, let's make sure that our students are prepared. And finally, I'll give you this, is that my mom was a 2nd grade school teacher in Brooklyn, New York. She taught for 40 years. She was very much all about cultural education. Growing up in New York City, if you have 30 students in a classroom, you have 28 different cultures. So it's an education in itself, and that's what I got to grow up around. What I'm always encouraged by is how we are now looking at what is best for our end user, our client, our customer, and that's the students. So it's really been great watching that presentation, and really great participating in that dream session. The other thing I'll give you as a thought, because I heard a lot about public outreach and engagement. That's what we've been doing for past 20 years. Those numbers are astonishing. That was an incredible outreach, and very diverse outreach for the business community, not in just ethnicity, but in the business community, talking to educators, talking to students, talking to parents. I just want to give props to that company that pulled that off, because that was an amazing job. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That closes out 5.01. 6.01, upcoming meeting of the Board of Trustees. Our next meeting is on March 30th, 2026 at 10 a.m. at the Clark County School District Administrative Center. And at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Trustee Cavazos.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. I'll take a second. Trustee Barone.
Second.
Awesome. Let's vote. Motion passes. We are adjourned.